So much media we consume today is driven by algorithms through streaming services. Music streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music track what we listen to and then use an algorithm to feed us what music it thinks we will like based on what we have listened to in the past. I find this boring because it often means I'm being served the same styles of music over and over again. So, to make music discovery exciting again, I've developed ways to find music that is not served to me by an algorithm. By doing so, I've discovered new artists from around the world and albums I never knew existed, some of which aren't even available on streaming services. Hi there, if you're new here, my name is Aaron and I sell physical media online at record fairs and at an antique mall in Murfreesboro, Tennessee called Four Sisters. I'm also a collector of vintage audio and physical media, things I like to talk about here on my YouTube channel, so discovering music that's new to me is very important. So, to take matters back into my own hands, I developed 3 methods to find new music: physical, digital, and social. If you're like me and tired of streaming services offering you the same stuff to listen to, stick around to see how exciting it can be to uncover amazing music from other people and places instead. Before we start, it's important to note that this video is about music that's new to us, not necessarily music that's newly released. So that means it could have been released in 1950 or 2025. If we haven't heard it before and are just now discovering it, it's new music. Also, this video is not about completely ditching our phones or streaming services. In fact, you'll see we actually still need to use these as tools. The goal is to take music discovery back and try to find recommendations from human resources and experiences rather than using the streaming services algorithm. This is important because the job of an algorithm is to suggest new things based on past behavior. So, if you've been listening a lot to the new Deftones album, the algorithm will suggest more music similar to the Deftones. Same thing with genre. If you like punk, you'll probably get a lot of the artist songs and albums in that genre suggested to you. But what if you wake up one day and you just want to start listening to jazz or country or find an obscure album you've never heard before? Sure, you can start searching in your streaming app to try and find suggestions, but chances are you aren't going to be as satisfied with the results as you would be if you simply discovered this music on your own. So let me explain how I got out of using the algorithm to discover new music, and it all started when I began shopping differently at my local record store. The first way to discover new music without using an algorithm is to just go out and look for it physically at a record store. And I know that sounds obvious, but hang with me because I've discovered some tips to help me find things that I know an algorithm would never recommend to me. I've been going to record stores and shopping there for over 30 years now, and I often found myself going to the same sections in record stores. So when I got kind of tired of the algorithm sending me the same music over and over again, I knew I needed to approach record stores differently. And what I've started doing is, sure, I'll go to the same sections I always look at, rock or punk or whatever, and and look for if they have anything I might want to buy. But if I really want to go on like a music discovery trip, I will search out the sections at record stores that I assume I know nothing about. Exotica, international, and my favorite, the dollar bin section. These are where things are shoved in that I need to look through, and it helps my brain sort of get out of the streaming service. I've been recommended something by an algorithm. It just helps me break that a little bit and think, wow, I wonder if this is something that I'd be interested in. Let me give you 2 quick examples. I found this album in the dollar bin by Noel Harrison called Collage. At first, the cover just grabbed my eye and I flipped it over and read it, and then I was immediately intrigued because he's covering songs like Just Like a Woman by Bob Dylan, and he's got all these Beatles covers. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, When I'm 64, Strawberry Fields Forever. I pulled this up on YouTube Music. I had my AirPods, listened to a couple tracks, and thought, this is cool. I want to take this home. An algorithm would have never suggested this to me. But it's not just searching the dollar records or vinyl. You can also find this in CDs. I love shopping the 99-cent section for CDs. I found this, which is called Passages by Chris Spheris and Paul Voudouris. Probably said that wrong. I'm sorry, Paul. And I picked this CD up. It was 99 cents. And I read one line that said, "This is an atmospheric recording." And I was like, that's cool. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to take a gamble and buy it. It only has 3 songs, Prism, Mosaic, and Passage. This sort of borders on like new age electronic music. They were hired to make this album by a brain research company, and the original vinyl copies now sell for like $100 or more. I found this for 99 cents and listened to it, and it's actually a very interesting thing to listen to. Another weird 99-cent CD I just found, David Arkenstone, the music from Robot Wars. But the back is what grabbed me. Why wouldn't I want to spend 99 cents on the back of a CD that looks like that? Again, just weird electronic film score music that an algorithm would not have known to send to me. Now, it might stress you out to think about going to the record store and buying a bunch of stuff that you might not like. That's part of the process, is discovering things visually, looking it up and saying, I don't know if I would like this or not, because the algorithm thinks it knows what you like. So that's what it's sending you. We want our brain to be experiencing things we both like and don't like to help us better curate what we want to listen to from a human aspect. So what I would recommend is take your phone. That's what I mentioned earlier. We were not ditching these digital tools. Pop some AirPods in. Pull these up on YouTube Music. Oftentimes streaming services might not have an album like this. Look it up on YouTube. Somebody's probably uploaded at least one song. Listen to it. See if you like it. You don't even have to buy it if you like it. Just save it so that you can listen to it later. Or if you don't have your AirPods, just take pictures of these. Go home, look them up, listen to them online. You could even listen to them in the streaming services you're already using, and that might help reset the algorithm to offer you things that's more exciting to listen to later on down the road. My other method is not just a physical method of going out and looking for records, but there's also a digital way that I go out of my way to find services that are curated by humans that are offering me new music I've never listened to. Now, the number one app that I do this on is Bandcamp. And a lot of people are familiar with Bandcamp, but I don't think people realize how great of a resource it is and how well it's curated by humans to introduce us to new music. They've got amazing radio shows like a hip hop show, a metal show. The one I love is the World Music Show. They're playing music from artists that I would never stumble on anywhere else. And when I hear it and I like it, I can save it into my wish list. And then maybe like once a month, go back through my wish list on Bandcamp and just hear all this new music. Sometimes I really fall in love with it. Other times I think, that album's not necessarily for me. There was just something about that one song that grabbed me and made me want to go back and listen. Bandcamp is an amazing resource. They write articles about new music, new artists, top 10 jazz releases, anything along that lines. Again, human curated is a plus. You can also just search for their tags on there. I'll just sometimes go look for punk and find some random band in Minnesota that just released an EP and check it out. Again, human curation on Bandcamp is awesome. Another great app is Mixcloud, DJ mixes, again from humans that are playing music. Sometimes it's hard to know what exactly songs they're playing, so you can reference later. But these are human DJs making mixes that are really great to listen to on Mixcloud. The one that I really want to get further into is Substack. Many years ago, there were these things called MP3 blogs before streaming services existed, and these were humans that had blogs, and they would upload MP3s that they liked from new bands or bands that they discovered, and every day you would sort of log on and check these MP3s out and listen to them and discover new music that way. Again, more human curation. That has sort of gone to the wayside, and music journalists have moved to Substack, especially since a lot of these are no longer working full-time at publications like Pitchfork or NPR, something along those lines. They're on Substack now, and I really want to spend the rest of this year digging into Substack music journalism to have things be coming into my email inbox that are suggested by people whose music taste I trust with new albums that I should listen to. So check out Substack. As I find more interesting accounts, I'm going to curate those and send them out to my email list, which you can sign up to by clicking on the first link in the pinned comment on this video. Just click on that link. It'll sign you up to my email list. It'll actually send you my personal email address. You can email me with any questions you have. But yeah, I'll try to curate some of my favorite music Substacks and send those out there. But again, we're not trying to get rid of digital everything with streaming services. We could still use this as a tool. We're just looking to get out of the streaming services algorithm and find digital curated opportunities by humans instead. Real quick, like I mentioned in the intro, I actually sell physical media like vinyl records and CDs online. If you'd be interested in shopping my Discog store, where I have a lot of those available for sale, you can do so by clicking on the link in the video description. Also, I would love to know What are the ways that you discover new music outside of using an algorithm? Please let me know in the comments below. The other way I find new music outside of an algorithm is just socially, by asking friends, talking to people at record stores. When I go into stores these days, people know me. I will walk up and they'll say, hey, we just put out a stack of records that we think you'll like. Go check it out. My wife and I were at a record store the other day. I know so many people that work there or own them that we ended up just talking to our friends for like 30 minutes at the store and then left. We didn't even buy anything, but it just felt great to talk to people. But when I go in there, oftentimes they give me recommendations because they know what I like based on what I've bought, which kind of sounds like an algorithm. But it's really a human saying like, if you like this, you should check this out. And oftentimes we can do that just by texting friends and family and by saying, hey, I stumbled on this weird album by Philip Glass, a composer. Do you know anything about it? Do you have any recommendations that go along with it? A cousin of mine was 2 years older than me. He lives in Chicago. I lived in Alabama. He had so much more exposure to music than I did when we were growing up. He said, what are you listening to? I said, Nirvana and Pearl Jam. And he said, cool, check out these bands, Soundgarden and Smashing Pumpkins. He was a great resource for me. Another thing you could do is just get together and play music for each other. Maybe do a challenge like, everyone go shop the dollar bins, buy one record, and let's all get together on a Friday night and play the record that we found and just listen to it and see if it's fun or not. That could be a great social interaction as well. My sons are really into music because, well, I raised them in a musical household by going to record stores and concerts. And they texted me the other day and said, we're listening to this band called Wisp. And I listened to it, and it's like this shoegazy female-fronted band. I said, I texted back, that sounds like Cocteau Twins. And they said, oh, we love them too. And I was like, cool. And I said, but it also sounds like this band called Starflyer 59 that I was listening to when I was growing up. And they said, we'll check that out. So don't be afraid to text friends and families. What I would suggest is maybe send them what you're listening to and ask for further suggestions based on that. Or just find a good text group where you guys can swap music suggestions. And it doesn't always have to be the newest thing that just came out. It could be something that you found recently that's older or that was released a few years ago that you find interesting. Again, we're just trying to get out of an algorithm sending us the same thing over and over and asking friends and family what they're listening to instead. Another social way to discover new music is to attend record fairs. Because there's going to be thousands of records in one room, you might stumble on something that looks interesting, and you can ask the dealer who brought it if it's something you might be interested in. Now, I sell at record fairs and love talking with people about the music they're interested in buying, and it's just an exciting way to connect with people. But there's 5 things that I think you should know before you attend a record fair. If you'd be interested in learning what those 5 things are, you can do so by watching this video here.